Okay, to continue on with the Coin Mastery series, what we're doing for you guys, we are going to do is we're going to give you basically a new coin every single day, Monday through Thursday. We're just going to go straight through the list, guys. So actually, the market cap of Ripple was higher when I was looking at Ripple. Obviously, Ripple has sold off. So we're just literally going to teach you a new coin every single day. So we started with Bitcoin yesterday. I'm going to go over Ripple today. We have Ethereum tomorrow, then Bitcoin Cash. And then on Monday, we'll start again with Cardano, NEM, Litecoin, and we'll just go through the list straight here. So you'll learn 4 new coins a week. For a month, you're going to learn 30 new coins and what they do in the trading room, okay? This is not available anywhere else, but in the trading room. So, Coin Mastery series, this is Mastering Ripple. Okay, this has been a big one in the news. We'll talk about it. The reason why is the centralization versus the non-centralization. So, a little risk disclaimer, I have to put this in every single recording. Day trading, short-term trading, options trading, futures trading, and crypto trading are generally a risky undertaking. They are generally not appropriate for someone with little to no capital, no trading experience, a low tolerance of risk. We are not registered investment advisors, so we cannot give recommendations or advice. What we can do is offer our opinions, which in my opinion, that's a lot better. No trades are recommendation or advice. We cannot be sued for losses of capital. All trades are for educational purposes only. Contact your broker or registered investment advisor in terms of execution, margin, and other capital requirements. Everybody watching today's presentation adheres to all risk disclaimers on www.alphashark.com and www.acryptoshark.com. So, current holding. I am bullish on Ripple, but I actually sold all my Ripple yesterday. So I was long Ripple from 90 cents, and I decided I want to get into more of the trade alert that we sent yesterday. So I sold my Ripple. I basically 2x'd my money. So I sold it at about 264. So I bought it at 90 cents on the day that the Bitcoin futures got down to 11,400, and then I sold it at $2 and about 64 cents. So I'm currently out of Ripple. I have no position. Okay, so I bought it at 90 cents and I sold it around 264. So we did that. That was about a 300% return on that. I am bullish. I think there's more upside than there is downside in it. However, I currently do not have a position in it. Okay, so I am bullish on it, but I currently do not have a position in it. Okay, who is the team behind Ripple? You know, one of the things that's so important when you're learning to trade cryptocurrencies is the team. Is the management team. Do they have a solid team? Do they have a weak team? Who is the team behind Ripple? So the two main people behind Ripple, Chris Larsen, he founded eLoan and sold it to Banco Popular for $1 billion. He also has his MBA from Stanford. And one thing I find really, really interesting here is a lot of these people that are in the crypto space, they're doing this to change the world, okay? They're not doing this because they need the money. Okay, he sold his company for $1 billion. Most likely, he probably doesn't need money. He's in the crypto space because he wants to change the world. Then we have Brad Garlinghouse. Brad Garlinghouse, you can see on CNBC, on Bloomberg a lot. If you go to YouTube and you look for his interviews, you will see a lot of, he's in the media a lot, so that's a good thing. You know, a management team that comes out, talks about what their current cryptocurrency does, is very, very positive for the cryptocurrency, saying, hey, they're not just going to come up with a cryptocurrency and kind of be behind closed door and not be willing to talk about it. So he was the president of consumer applications at AOL. So this is the main management team, founder and now CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple by the numbers. And this has changed in the last couple of days. We've seen Ripple sell off. There's a rumor going around that it's not getting added to Coinbase. So current market cap, 121 billion, okay? What we can look at is a couple different things. We can look at that of the percentage of the Bitcoin market, or we can look at it as the total of the whole crypto space. So Ripple is about 40% of Bitcoin. And I did, like I said, guys, I did these slides over the weekend, and you'll see one about sticks that was really, really interesting. And then it has changed, and these things are always going to move up and down. So about 40% of Bitcoin's price, and then 17% of the whole crypto space. So if I was trading this, I would always keep an eye on this, okay? What percentage of Bitcoin it is and what percentage of the whole crypto space. Current price, it was 314 over the weekend, has sold off recently to about 234. It was the one that was down the most, and the reason it was down the most, there was rumors it was going to get added to Coinbase, and they came on and said it's not going to get added to Coinbase, so it did sell off pretty significantly over the weekend. Volume, about $6 billion a day. Okay, when we look at that versus Bitcoin, it's about 25% of Bitcoin's volume. So these are kind of numbers to kind of look at. You know, as Ripple goes up, what percentage of the whole crypto space? As Ripple goes down, what percentage of the whole crypto space? Tokens in circulation or supply. And I can show you how we find this. This is very easy. So, you know, as we look at these numbers, and they have fluctuated. Here is the market cap now. Now it is down to 90 billion. So when I did these slides over the weekend, it was 121. Now it's down to 90. If I want to hit circulating supply, all I have to do is click this. And this will show me on anything how much it will. So let me go to Ripple here. Sorry. Okay, so circulating supply, 38 billion of 100 billion. So if you look at it as a percentage, Ripple only has 38% of the supply out there. So there's still a lot of supply left. When you look at Bitcoin about 16.7 million of the 21 million. So, you know, Bitcoin has about 80% of the supply out there. There's not that much supply left. In Ripple, there's a lot of supply left. Okay, so we'll talk about the fact that it's not decentralized, it's actually centralized, and the management team can release more supply whenever they want. If they release more supply, most likely will sell off. So only 38% of the supply is actually in use. 62% is on the sidelines. And when we go to Bitcoin here, Bitcoin, because that's the market leader, 16.7 of the 21. So as a percentage, Bitcoin's about 80% of the circulating supply is out, where Ripple's circulating supply only about 38% is out, which is a bad thing because they can be released at any point in time. So what does Ripple do? Okay, Ripple is a crypto, yes, but it is centralized, not decentralized. This is the big point that we will make throughout this presentation of the Coin Mastery series. It's probably literally almost the only one that is centralized out there, okay? Centralized means its supply is controlled by institutions. When you look at something that's decentralized, that means it's not centralized, which means it's a peer-to-peer system, there's proof of work. But in the world of Ripple, okay, the institution or the management team can release more whenever they want. We don't know when they're going to release it, but they can release more whenever they want. So it's really, really weird and interesting to see a cryptocurrency like Ripple trading such a high market cap, because the whole point of cryptos is to decentralize the world and decentralize everything. But Ripple is centralized. And this is one point why I have not been a fan of Ripple since the beginning. Is the fact that it actually has a management team and it has institutions behind it, and they can release more supply whenever they want. Okay, what makes Ripple special? Okay, the institutions own about 70% of Ripple. This is different than any other cryptocurrency out there. This is good, but this is bad. Okay, why is it good and why is it bad? It is good because if the price ever falls, most likely the institutions will come in and buy it back. There was a story over the weekend that Seagate Technologies owns about 3% of Ripple. What happened to Seagate? The price ripped higher. And we'll go over the key investors here in a minute, but good and bad. Institutions own Ripple. That means if it sells off, most likely it will always get bought. But on the double-edged sword of this, it is bad, okay? Because it is different than any other cryptocurrency out there. This is very different to the diamonds market, which is controlled and distributed by De Beers. Okay, we talk about Bitcoin, we talked about cryptocurrencies, how they're very similar to diamonds, and diamonds are controlled by De Beers. They control the supply-demand curve. If the price goes too high, then they'll lower the demand. If the price goes too low, then they'll increase it. So they control the supply-demand curve in the market. And this is a very similar way of Ripple. So these institutions that we'll go over, the key investors, is Andreessen Horowitz, it's Styx, and it's Accenture, control a lot of the supply-demand curves. Very, very similar to the ways that the diamonds are created. Another positive that makes it good is it has very fast transactions and it targets banks and financial firms. Okay, we'll talk about here in a minute the way it targets these banks and financial firms. So it can exchange money anywhere in the world, even with unique currency pairs. You know, one big currency pair that's not heavily traded is the Venezuelan dollar. Okay, the Venezuelan dollar doesn't trade much, but basically it allows you to transfer money anywhere in the world. So unlike Bitcoin, it can handle thousands of transactions per second. You know, speed is always very important when you're looking at these cryptocurrencies. Transactions per second. You know, Bitcoin was initially very cheap and you could do a lot of transactions per second. As it's been evolved even longer, it is not doing so well. Okay, it can only handle about 3.5 transactions per second. Ripple can handle thousands of transactions per second. Currently, it is only used by 20 of the 30,000 banks around the world. So that shows huge upside potential. Okay, Bitcoin is in 100,000 stores around the world. We talk about Ripple. It is only brought on board about 20 banks. So it's only brought on about 20 banks. So there's 29,980 banks that are not on board yet. So the potential upside here for Ripple could be huge due to the fact that there's so many banks that they can target and get on board. And they're constantly bringing new banks on board. Okay. Currently is only used, as we said, that it can transfer money internally almost with no fees. There is a little bit of fees, but as a nominal amount, it's very, very low fees. It is commission based, so that's a bad thing that is commission based. However, it's very, very low commissions. So basically, you know, currency exchanges transfer money in the world from a Venezuelan dollar to euro to US dollar. So this is a way to transfer currencies anywhere in the world within seconds, and it can do thousands of transactions per second. Okay, so this is very, very important, and the technology is very, very quick and fast. The good, okay? The good is Ripple has been on a tear. Okay, when we looked at the chart of it, it was trading for about 27 cents for a very long time. It has basically 10x'd. So it's 10x'd in the course of about 2 months. Also the good, since it's controlled by the institutions and banks, most likely it will continue to be bought on any dip. Okay, this is a very, very important thing. In the cryptocurrency world, it's really, really hard to give valuations of what something's worth. Okay, it's just a supply-demand curve between buyers and sellers. Since the institution